Joining us now in advance of a big Monday Night Football game coming up to wrap up the week ahead is the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, Coach. Thanks for joining.
Good to see you, Rich. Appreciate you having me on.
You got it. Listen, I know it's not your table. I'll start with this one. Do you watch Monday Night Football when it doesn't involve your team? Do you check it out, even though you're trying to find a W for your own, Coach?
Usually on in the background. It's why we're doing our own work. It's on the TV behind me, and you can hear a little bit what's happening. You'll peek back at it.
Okay, and so I mean, when you watch a game like that last night, how do you look at it whenever you peek at the screen? Because we're sitting here talking about what's entertaining and what's not, and what's this and what's not. I'm wondering how a head coach in the NFL views a game like Monday nights. Zach?
Yeah, well, we play both those teams coming up, so you're paying a little more interest because, just the personnel you might not be as aware of if it's a team you haven't played before. You like to hear the announcers talk a little bit, but our focus right now is on Dallas, so you're trying to make sure you're staying on task with them as well.
Obviously, no doubt about that. So right here and right now, what is your biggest challenge as a head coach of this?
Find a way to get a win. It's been a month now since we felt that feeling, and it's not a feeling that we're comfortable with at all. And so our focus is just going Monday Night Football at Dallas, find a way to get a win, get that feeling back in our system, and then continue to build off it from there.
How much of your job is managing emotions right now?
That's part of it. I think we've got a good team that doesn't stray too far that way. Certainly when you're not winning and it's in December and you had high expectations for yourself, that's a hard pill to deal with right now. But our guys have done a good job picking themselves up, picking up the guys around them, and just continuing to work and try to find a way to get this thing right.
And you got a quarterback who's got a sensibility about him where this has got to rankle. He doesn't show emotion very much, ever, with Joe Burrow. You can't tell, and that's obviously part of his superpowers when things are going well. But do you have conversations with him to make sure that he's not mentally or emotionally going to places that you rarely see him go to, Coach?
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him as much as I talk to anybody in this building, and he's done a great job. He's got power in a lot of ways, elevating his team, seeing how he responds, can elevate the guys around him, and he's done an excellent job understanding that from a leadership standpoint and trying to get the most out of everybody around him. So he's playing at a high level. We need everyone to continue to try to match that. And he's done a great job doing his best to elevate everybody around him.
Now, I know he doesn't speak, you don't speak for him, but there's a quote I'd like to read you from something he said after the loss this past weekend. He said, "I think we'll learn a lot about who we have in the locker room, the guys we can count on going forward and the guys we can't. The next 6 weeks will say a lot about who we can count on and who we can't." What do you think about when you hear that?
He's dead on. I mean, that's what adversity does to you. You get a chance to see what people's true character is about and who can endure it, because we've faced it here in 6 years. We've had the roller coaster. We've had bad seasons. We've had great seasons. And what you learn is you find out a lot about people when you're facing adversity and times are tough. It's easy. It's easy when you're winning. And it's easy when you're playing for AFC championships and Super Bowls. And that part's easy. It doesn't take as much management. But it's times like this when you really find out about people and who you want to go through it with. And so, again, it's a great time to observe people that way.
And are you taking notes for future years? Again, I know you're focused on Dallas. You're focused on getting wins and stacking them and finishing up strong. But what about you as the HC of the Cincinnati Bengals, Zach?
I take notes every day of every week since I've been here for 6 years. So this is no different, than times we've had before. And we just got to continue to learn from them to make sure it doesn't happen again.
What have you learned about yourself? Not to turn this into a therapy session, but what have you learned about yourself through the first 12 results this year?
Yeah, every year is different. You can go in with anticipation and expectations for yourself, and every week's a new week. Whether it was year 1 for me or year 3 or year 6, there's always new challenges, and you got to manage different ways and continue to evolve and not get too comfortable. And I'm good with all that. It's exciting for me to go through this with players that I like being around and coaches I like being around, and excited to find a way out of this thing.
Do you hear from ownership at all during this?
Talk every day. Talk to him every day since I've been here.
And what does he say, if you wouldn't mind sharing any of these conversations? What's the tenor of these conversations that you have?
We're all in this thing together. That's the beauty of the Cincinnati Bengals is We communicate every single day, and so we're always on the same page through good times and bad times. And so it makes it very easy when that communication is so streamlined and it's constant. And so there's never any surprises on either end. And so it's a good relationship, a great communication.
Zach Taylor here on the Rich Eisen Show. The challenges the Cowboys present to you are what?
They got excellent players. They got really good coaches. Micah Parsons, when you look at their defense, is the starting point, disruptive player, game changer. And they got a lot of pieces around it. Always had a ton of respect for Mike Zimmer, Mike McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer, John Fossil. So they're well coached, that. And their players are getting healthier, and they're going to be an excellent challenge for us on Monday.
Obviously, you don't need to, circle 11 on behalf of your staff and also on behalf of your quarterback. But when you see him on film, you see him and he presents what, Zach?
Explosive, relentless. They move him around everywhere. And so you can't fall asleep on him for 1 second because he can disrupt the game in a heartbeat.
I've got Zach Taylor here, a few minutes left with the Cincinnati Bengals head coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. Obviously you've got this Monday night game, but you do have some aspirations to finish up strong and see what's for the best. What do you take from these 12 games that you can point out that we need to fix X, Y, and Z? Give me an X or a Y or a Z for me, if you don't mind.
Well, on Dallas and on defense, consistently, we have to tackle better, and find a way to get some stops. And on offense, we can't waste a single possession. We can't settle for field goals, and got to do a great job protecting the ball in all areas. And we'll put it together, and have a great game from start to finish. And once you can do that, you can snowball from there and find a way to get some wins. We've done this before, been in this situation similar before. And again, just excited to watch our guys play on Monday Night Football and put in a great week's work and be ready to roll.
Before I let you go, if you don't mind, again, I know this isn't your table, but this is the sort of stuff we're talking about here on a show like this in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence slides. Azeez Al-Shaair hits him. He gets flagged. He gets ejected. He's now suspended 3 games. Do you think there needs to be some change in the way a quarterback slides? Any change in any rule, shape, or form that might lend to a defender getting a better sense of when somebody's sliding or protecting the quarterback better? Do you have any opinion on this, Coach?
The truth of the matter is I have not yet seen that clip. So I've seen headlines on it. I haven't seen it enough to educate myself. I will at some point. And again, it's a slippery slope. There's a lot of situations you can pinpoint. They're all officiated a little bit differently probably. And I don't have any real comment on that. Okay.
Do you have any rule change that if I could wave a wand, Zach Taylor gets to change a rule in the National Football League? I'll give you the floor.
I just want to get used to the rules we got, instead of continue to change them. Let's get used to the rules that we got.
Okay. Coach, I really appreciate your time. And I look forward to seeing you guys perform on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys, and I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it, Rich. Thank you.
You got it. That's Zach Taylor, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.